content like this, be sure to subscribe to Mason Studios on YouTube. All right, guys, it is Josh Mason coming at you from Fan Expo Chicago, and I'm here with the legendary David W. Collins. David, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's great to be here. Chicago's been amazing. I love it here.
You are a voice actor who has worked on Maul, Shadow Lord, among numerous other projects. You're also a sound designer for Skywalker Sound. Tell me a little bit about what got you into the industry and like what kind of inspired you to want to start working in this.
Sure. You know, I was a theater kid, and I grew up doing musicals and plays, loved music, played instruments as a kid. You know, like a lot of people growing up in small towns in America, I was just enthralled by movies, music, TV, what I heard on the radio, and so I just knew from a young age it's something I always wanted to do. And in my head, it's all the same: sound design, music composition, voiceover, performance. It's all kind of part of the same end result, you know, especially when you're working in movies or TV, when, you know, the music and the acting and the photography and the editing, everything works to present this, you know, final production. It represents so many amazing disciplines all working together. And so, yeah, you know, if I'm not doing sound design, I'm auditioning for things or doing voiceover or, you know, looping in Marvel or Star Wars movies, and every once in a while I get to play, you know, incredible voice roles in things like Maul, Shadow Lord, or Star Wars The Force Unleashed years ago. And so I just really enjoy being behind the microphone, and I enjoy being at the mixing board. Very lucky to be a part of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, you're great at it. And Maul Shadow Lord, you know, it's got a great response from the fans. Everybody seems to really love it. Especially, I know there's a sequence in it I won't spoil that's really, really cool. Fans will know what I'm talking about. But did y'all know while working on that it was going to get the response that it ended up getting and win the awards that it did?
Well, I think, we hopefully it's up for an Emmy, which is great. You know, it'd be, fingers crossed, but it's just such an honor to be nominated for sound for, I believe you're talking about the finale episode.
Oh, yeah, definitely talk about the finale.
I mean, I reacted to it. So I was going, like the first time I heard about it, saw it in the script, and then when I saw even a rough cut of it, I reacted very strongly to it because I mean, Star Wars is, honestly, it's my first love. The first movie came out when I was, you know, before I even have memory of seeing it. It was, you know, just I'm of that era. And I saw the finale, and I started working on the finale, and I was having major responses to it. And what was great is the more we built up the mix, and then I got the music from the Kiners, and I, you know, started cutting in the lightsaber effects with my team at Skywalker Sound. We have a great team that helped me out with that. It just really started coming together, and it gave me chills. So I was very excited for people to see Maul, Shadow Lord, and in particular, the last several episodes they were a pleasure to work on. They were blowing me away while I was working on them, and I just wanted so badly to make them as special as possible. We got to see the last episode in a theater with fans on the Disney lot, and the room just erupted. It was great. It was great. So no, I was just one of the greatest pleasures of my creative life was working on Maul, Shadow Lord, and then getting to watch an audience react like that.
Oh, yeah, no, fans definitely love it. I mean, the response has been great. One of the projects that you worked on I was a huge fan of was Star Wars Force Unleashed. So can you talk to me a little bit about the difference between working on something like a video game versus working on like a TV show or a movie?
Yeah, I mean, well, one is linear, meaning that it's always going to be the same. You know, if I do an episode of Maul, Shadow Lord, it's 20 to 30 minutes of a scene that you know, you can rewind it and fast forward, and you're just working and rolling over the same scene over and over again. The other one is interactive, so the control is with the player. It's software, and anytime you're dealing with software, you're putting multiple systems in place that interact with each other, and you're having to basically have the game mix itself live. So that comes with a whole different set of challenges. Takes months and months and months of not just designing the elements, but, you know, learning how to integrate them and managing their behavior as they interact with each other. Environment sounds, animations, weapons, gameplay, UI, vehicles, creatures, ships, you name it. They're all kind of doing their own physics. Physics was a huge part of Force Unleashed. You know, and that took thousands and thousands of sounds and a big team. I think there were 12 of us, you know, that hammered on that thing for, you know, a year or two in order for it to come to life. And it was a new consoles at the time, new game engine, new audio engine, new team, new story, new everything. And that was a huge challenge. I was, you know, maybe 32 something years old when I was working on that, and it was at that point in my life the hardest thing I'd ever done, and I relished the challenge. I'm so proud of The Force Unleashed and the work that the team did, and Hayden Blackman was an amazing leader. We had just an incredible team, and I'm so amazed that here we are almost 20 years later, and people who grew up playing that game, they come to the table and they're just so passionate about it, because it just stuck with them, and that means I think that the characters really resonated, but the gameplay was fun. And the story was cool. Yeah.
I think it's definitely one of the best Star Wars games ever made. So y'all, that whole team knocked out of the park on that. You said you also have a podcast. So maybe if you could tell fans a little bit about where they can find that, and then mention anything else that you can talk about that may be coming up.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, we're always working on new Star Wars projects. That hasn't changed for me. So I've got a couple cool, exciting things in the works. Of course, we do have. I believe Maul Season 2 has been announced, so I know that that's in development. The Soundtrack Show is my podcast. It's a podcast because I'm a huge music nerd and I love movies. I take film scores and I analyze them, not in a technical way, so if you're not a musician, it's still, you can get a lot out of it, but talking about how these moments are crafted in order to bring out the emotion in the story and make scenes with characters really land. So I play the music, we talk about it, and I've done everything from Lord of the Rings to Jurassic Park to Ghostbusters and of course Star Wars. And you can find it anywhere you have podcasts. It was with iHeartRadio, now it's just independent with me. But anywhere you can want to download podcasts, it's called The Soundtrack Show. And right now I'm doing The Phantom Menace, and I've got other stuff in store. If I can just get another episode out the door. I'm so busy working on all this Star Wars stuff, and but it's for everybody. It's a show for everybody.
Well, you guys will definitely have to check out the podcast, and of course we're excited about everything you have coming up. So thank you so much for speaking to me. It means a lot to me as a fan that you guys come to these shows and kind of share some of the behind-the-scenes knowledge and everything with everyone. So I'm as appreciative as everyone else. But guys, this has been it for Josh Mason from Fan Expo Chicago. So stay tuned for more coverage right after this.